there's one other step that we have to take care of. Is we have to actually make sure that Touch knows that we've got another set of locations where we can look for all the things that we want to use. So let's make one more text at. I'm going to call this one path or paths. I'm going to similarly save this goodie right here next to where my text template is. And it's called paths py. Great, save. I'm going to point to that. Paths py. All right, I want that. I want to sync to file. I should hopefully now be able to see that here inside of VS Code. And what do I want to do? First, I want to import the sys module. Okay, and I'm going to also give myself a handy little helper and make a little spacer. It's just a variable spacer, and that's going to be equal to dash space, and I want 5 of those. We'll see how that works here in 1 second. So first things first, let's just figure out what this is all about. So for each in sys.path, so for each one of the entries in syspaths, I want to print each. I'm going to save that. I'm going to head over here to Touch. I'm going to run that. And sure enough, this tells me all of the places that Touch knows to look for any of the external Python modules that I might be using. So we can see that the very first place it checks is in the derivative bin, and then it checks this Python zip, and then it checks the DLLs with Touch, and then it checks the libraries. It's got a few other goodies that it checks here. It checks for my site packages. Then it checks for this other crazy place of site packages, right? So here are all the places that we might look. But, right, like, how do I make sure that this new goodie that I added ends up in that list? Well, luckily for us, we can address that issue. So let's back here. Let's print our spacer. Okay. And now let's do one other fun little bit here. Okay, so our Python externals are located where? They're at our TDU expand path at ipar extpython dot target, right? That's, if we remember, that's back over here. This is now where our Python goodness lives, okay? Oh, I don't know why I've got, let's just leave it as Python ext, that's better. Okay, next, if Python ext, like, right, if my external Python bits are not, so if Python ext not in sys.path, if this goodie isn't in this list, well, you know what you should do? You should syspath append my Python. If it's not in there, put it in there, silly, because it should belong there. Okay, let's check to make sure that it got added. So now we can repeat this same little bit up here for each. I'm just going to borrow that since it's already there. And I'm going to add one more spacer here at the bottom. I'm going to clear my text port. I'm going to run my text paths. Sure enough, there it is, waiting for us. This is the type of thing that you'd want to make sure sits as a dat execute, something that runs at start or on create, to make sure that your set of externals is bundled up with the places where Python or where Touch is already looking for Python goodness.